So to find an average value, we can evaluate the integral of the values on the interval. So it starts at 0, ends at 2 pi, but we have to multiply this by the length of the interval. So it ends at 2 pi, starts at 0. This is how long that interval is. Just like when you calculate a mean, you add up all the numbers and divide by how many numbers you have, right? Same thing here. This is like adding up all the numbers. Then we're going to divide by the number of numbers we have. And the function we're doing is sine of x with respect to x. And so the antiderivative of sine is cosine, because the derivative of cosine would be sine. Sorry, it's negative cosine, because the derivative of cosine is negative sine. Good thing I said that out loud, or else I might have dropped a sign there. The derivative of cosine is negative sine, so the antiderivative of sine needs to be negative cosine. That way, when you take a derivative, negative times a negative makes a positive, just like it's supposed to. Okay, now that I fixed that mistake, you plug in 2 pi and subtract what happens when you plug in 0. So cosine of 2 pi, that's 1, because cosine is the x-coordinates in the unit circle. So 2 pi lands us right here at 1 comma 0. And then same thing here, this is also 1. So we get 0. So the average value on this interval is 0. And to find all points C between A and B, where f of C equals f of the average. So in other words, you want to find out when you're going to hit that average value of 0. So you have to solve this equation. So what angles would make the sine ratio be 0? And that's where you can go back to the unit circle like I was just talking about. Sine are the y coordinates in the unit circle. And remember, unit circle is just the circle with a radius of 1. That's the only thing special about a unit circle. And so when you rotate, there's two places where the y value is going to be 0. It's going to be 0 here at 0 degrees, and then it says between A and B. Okay, so if it's between A and B, 0 isn't between 0 and 2 pi. It's on one of those. So I don't think we're going to enter 0 as an answer. The other y value on the unit circle that's 0 is over here. This is 180 degrees. In other words, that's pi. So I think the only answer we enter is pi, because I'm being really specific with their language. They're saying all points between A and B. 0 is one of those points, but it's not between A and B, so I think pi would be the only answer here.